Welcome. This is Tune Into Your Body. I'm Dr. Wendy Lee White. Imagine that you felt like you had choice in your life. Imagine if you didn't feel like you had to wait for the actions of someone else or something else. Imagine that you could feel like you had all sorts of power in your life. It's how I would like you to feel. That's how working with me lends itself, so that you feel as though you have all of the power that you need to make choices in your life that align with your physiology, that make you feel more vibrant, more in health, greater vitality, greater energy, better sleep, better mood, and less of the symptoms that irritate you. Headaches, GI issues, joint pain, whatever they might be. So for those of you who have been following along, you'll know that this month in July, we really focused on health at every size, body positivity. Last week, we talked about the fact that I don't do weight loss and what that means. And today, we're going to talk about what you can control. Easy, day-to-day things that you have access to making a choice about. And so let's start with my foundations of Tune Into Your Body, the 5 essentials for you to be healthier every day. Those 5 essentials are nourish, move, connect, choose, and balance. So today, let's discuss and explore all ways that you can find power in day-to-day choice. So last week, this week is a continuation of last week, where last week we talked about the fact that I don't do weight loss. And so for those of you who want extra information about that, please do click the link. If you're a Zoom listener, please click the link that was emailed to you the day after last week, so last Friday. If you are a Facebook watcher, then please look in the Tune Into Your Body Facebook page and find the recording from the 16th of July, where I talked about why I don't do weight loss and what that looks like with my patients. So today the focus is on what you have control over. So the summary from last week is that none of us as humans have control over our weight. So using the number on a scale as a target for our health in quotes, health goals, is something that I'm not recommending. None of us have control over what we weigh. What we can control are the things that I will talk about today. And as a result of making more choices that support your body and less choices that irritate your body's weight will then normalize to wherever it can maintain easily. That biological set point is different for every person, depending on their genetics, their traumas, their body size, their body type, their metabolism. So many things lend themselves to determining weight that to try to be arrogant enough to think that we can control it, it's really silly. So what can we control? If we can't control our weight, what can we control? First, let's talk about nourish, food, hydration, and supplementation. If a body feels as though it's not getting enough nourishment, and it feels like it might be entering into a phase of starvation, then the body in its wisdom, because our bodies are brilliant, the body within its wisdom is going to then conserve calories, slow its metabolism down to really stock up just in case that food deprivation were to get worse. So what we can control is making sure that our body feels nourished at all times. That has no numerical value. I can't tell you how many calories you, quote, need for your body to be happy. We need to be able to tune in to the signals that our body gives us, that tells us when we've had enough, when we need more, what types of calories we're looking for, what types of foods would nourish us fully. So what we can control is the amount, the type, the duration, the frequency of the food that nourishes us. We can control that by listening to what messages our internal systems give us. Now, for those of you who might say, I have a hard time feeling when I'm full or when I'm hungry, or if I'm super hungry or a little hungry. Well, you know what? That just takes practice. Our bodies have really great ways of giving us signs that we're full or when we're hungry. So for example, I'll use this example. So if you are hungry, some people feel as though they feel hunger in their mood more than they feel it physically in their stomach, their actual anatomical stomach. So for some people, they might feel that they are getting just a little bit, Some people might feel that they're just getting a little bit irritable, a little bit less settled in their bodies. For them, that's how they know that they're hungry. How does someone know that they're full? If you pay attention, and this is what fascinates me. So when I teach the psychology of eating at the National University for Natural Medicine, and throughout the last few years of teaching this course, I've learned even more nuances that make me in awe of the human design. And so, did you know that the physiological experience of your taste buds communicating from your tongue or the back of your mouth up to your brain, that changes when you're hungry to when you're getting satiated or full or satisfied. So the next time you're thinking, I can't tell when my body's full, I can't tell when my body's hungry, pay attention and see if you notice a difference in how things taste at the beginning of a meal versus the end of the meal. And if we can get quiet and really pay attention, can we say, things are not tasting quite as yummy as they were. I wonder if I'm full. Maybe. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the nuances of your body that you can learn to hear so that you don't have to rely on someone else's rules or portion sizes or number counting, but that you can tune in and listen to your own body's information. So that's nourish. And the same can be said for thirst as well. I often use urination as the guide for thirst, the internal guide. Well, it's external by the time you see it, but the idea that by the time you're thirsty, by the time you say, oh, my mouth is dry and I feel like I need hydration, you're already dehydrated. So we want to try to prevent that if we can. The ways we can do that would be to eat fresh foods that are minimally processed so that they have hydration in them, they have water in them. Processed foods, crackers, things of that nature are dehydrated on purpose so that they won't mold and they have a longer shelf life. So eating things that are full of water are one way to help your body get regularly hydrated through your meals throughout the day. Another way, of course, is to drink tea or water or anything that I just posted in my last newsletter, either actually today or last Tuesday, a link to a Mountain Rose Herbs, how to make your water taste even yummier with herbs and fruit and food infused in your water. So check that out if you're interested. So the level of hydration, if you're feeling thirsty, you're already a bit dehydrated. So trying to keep ahead of that makes sense. drinking fluids throughout the day, eating. And we're back. So we were just discussing, sorry about that, my internet cut out. We were just discussing the idea that you can use an external guideline for the quantity of hydration that you'd need any given day, and that is half of your body weight in ounces per day. That is an external guideline, and so that might be a place to start for you, but then feeling how your body responds to that is really the next steps guidance of really fine-tuning it. And again, the more fresh fruits and veggies and water-filled foods you eat, then the less you'll have to drink because you're getting all of that hydration through your foods. If you are someone who eats a lot of processed food that is dehydrated in the form of crackers and things of that nature, or that is highly processed and either canned or frozen that has a high sodium level, you might find that you need even more than half of your body weight in ounces because you have to rehydrate the dehydrated food, or you have to optimize and offset the high sodium intake. So let me just pause since I got kicked out and we lost a little time. Let me just welcome all of you who are here. Thank you for joining me. Remember that you can always post a question or a comment in the chat, which if you're in Zoom is in your menu on the bottom. You just have to click chat and you can choose to send it to all panelists or to all panelists and attendees. And you can see that in the chat box. I'm Dr. Wendy Lee White. This is Tune Into Your Body, 5 Essentials for you to be healthier every day. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor, a nutritionist, and an educator. And I offer these webinars weekly so that everyone has access to me. Times are crazy right now. Find extra support where needed, and I hope to be one of those support people for you. So last week's topic was I don't do weight loss. And the reason behind that is that we don't have control over our weight as humans. We can control our behaviors that then can have a secondary effect over what our weight does, whether our weight goes up or down, but we can't directly control our weight. And so when I say I don't do weight loss, that doesn't mean that I just throw my hands up in the air and say, you're out of luck. We can't do anything about that. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we take the emphasis off the weight. The number means nothing. Let's choose behaviors in my 5 essentials that we can have control over every day that can help our bodies get healthier, more resilient, more strong, more vital. Therefore, our weight is going to then do what it needs to do when a healthy person is in balance. So the things that we can control, we're on Nourish, the first of 5. Nourish is about our food, our hydration, and our supplementation. We've talked about food, we've talked about hydration. Supplementation, I pull on board as something we can control in response to detectable deficiencies. Vitamin D, your labs come back low, you supplement, for example. So discovered deficiencies are a reason to supplement. Or supportive areas that you tend to have weakness in. So for example, if someone has a weak digestive tract and they're often feeling out of balance in digestion, absorption, detoxification, or elimination, we might introduce some supplements that are nourishing to that system to help that system rebalance. Not to control, but to nourish and to support so that your own biology can kick in. Those are the choices that we can make in Nourish. Second is move. Now, I use move rather than exercise because exercise sounds dreadful and sounds like something we're supposed to do, and I try to get rid of the supposed tos. So move is just about what physical active movement can you do in your body that makes you feel good, that makes you feel grateful that you have working limbs, that makes you feel grateful that you can go hiking with your peers or your grandkids, or you can go to the park and play with your kids. That if a friend calls you up and says, let's go kayaking this weekend, you can join them. Move is about feeling strong and empowered that you can do what you want to do in life. An example of move that is accessible to most of us is the idea of walking and the idea of stretching. So a perfect place to start in move, to be able to hear the feedback from internally of how you feel in response, is to start with something like walking or like chair yoga or whatever it is that feels like that first step for you. How does that feel? If it feels, oh, that's too easy, go faster, go longer, or go uphill. And I'm not saying to push yourself, but just to explore. When do I feel best with what types of movement? Those of you who follow me know that I believe that blood type has an effect on what movement someone is probably going to feel best with. If you're a blood group O, you might feel best with high intensity, lots of weight, lots of sweat, lots of grunting. That might feel fabulous for you. If you're a blood group A, you might need a 3-hour nap after that type of workout. But if you're a blood group A, you might want to look at Tai Chi or swimming or hiking or something that's a little more soothing to the nervous system, but you still feel like you're in the flow. Maybe that morning routine is your movement, and then the evening is more soothing stretching, accessible to however works for you, designed by someone individualized who knows you. For those of you in the Portland area, Root and Branch Integrative Fitness is one of my favorite go-tos. Gina is a fabulous personal trainer who will individualize your workout for the strengths and the deficiencies of your particular body. So that's move. The third topic, of which you can find ways to choose and have power over and have control over. If you can't control your weight, you can control these. Your choose is your sleep. Do you prioritize your daily schedule so that you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night? Do the math and realize that it typically takes someone 5 to 30 minutes to fall asleep in the evening, and maybe 15 to 30 minutes to actually wake up in the morning with an alarm. So if you need 8 hours of sleep, maybe you need to be in bed for 9 hours a night. Prioritize that, build that into your schedule. When you sleep, your hormones are more balanced, your nervous system is more balanced, your immune function is greater, your digestion has done its job. So many things rely on proper quality and quantity of sleep that one choice right there can make an impact on the rest of your being. Now let's talk about connect. How many of you aren't comfortable spending time with yourself? How many of you find it like you're just going to jump out of your skin if you're seated on your couch, breathing, just being, just hanging out? That is a fabulous skill to develop. Your nervous system thanks you. Your immune system thanks you. And so that is one aspect of connect, your relationship with yourself, that can have an impact on the rest of your health. I don't know if you've seen memes or Instagram pictures and things with the loneliness is the new smoking. Being alone and feeling disconnected to others or to something greater can have negative health effects just as much as something like smoking. So the next time you are feeling maybe like you're a little shut down and a little withdrawn, now no blame here. Look, we're in a global pandemic and there's social injustice everywhere. So no one's blaming you for feeling overwhelmed and shut down and wanting to just curl up and protect. But the next time you're feeling that way, and a friend reaches out and says, hey, go on a social distancing walk with me through my neighborhood, think twice before turning it down. You probably won't regret going, but you probably will regret not going. Let's talk about the fifth essential, balance. Now, here we're talking about essentials in the context of what you have control over. If you don't have control over your weight, what do you have control over? Your nourishment, your movement, your choices, as in sleep and chemical exposure, your connection, and balance. Balance refers to the state of your nervous system overall. Balance refers to the fact that if we feel comfort, if we feel safety, we're in that rest and digest state. I often suggest people think about a very calm lake first thing in the morning when the birds are awake but nobody else is, and everything is just that calm, peaceful. That's the state that your body would love to exist in. Your digestive function is prioritized, your immune function is prioritized, your detoxification, your elimination, your reproduction. All of our core, meaning foundational as well as physical core, the abdomen part of your body, all of our core functions really thrive when we're in that safety mode of our nervous system. That's where we would exist if we were in a perfect world. We would exist there. All of our core, primary, most important parts of our bodies and our physiology would be optimized because we'd live in this safety mode. You all know, look at the world we live in, you all know that most of us don't live in this calm safety mode. Where we do tend to live is in threat or reward or overwhelm, where our nervous systems are just not in safety. They're not feeling like it's safe to expand and open up and make our whole vital organs vulnerable to the world, right? If we're in threat, if we're in overwhelm, how does our body respond? Our shoulders roll forward and hunch over. We kind of slouch. We're protecting, physiologically protecting, we're guarding our internal organs. Our spine and our ribs and our external muscles will, to some degree, protect us from the back, but we really do. Our posture changes when we're in that threat, anything other than safety. So what we can do to try to encourage our bodies to be more within safety and less defensive, we can do a few things. One, we can limit our exposure to bad news. I'm not suggesting that we be ignorant. I'm suggesting that we limit our exposure so that our bodies are not being asked to respond to bad news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What this might look like is checking in with your favorite news source mid-morning, seeing how the world woke up and seeing what the latest situation is, and maybe making that the general rule that once a day at preferably mid-morning-ish, not first thing because that sets the tone for the day, but mid-morning-ish, you can get a handle on what's going on in the world, but your body, your system does not have to hear all the bad news all day long. That's one thing we can do to help our bodies go towards that safety and away from that defense all the time. Another very accessible way that we can help our bodies to feel closer to that mode is we can take 3 to 5 really deep belly breaths, which helps our body switch towards safety. Now, if you don't know what belly breaths are, they're basically nice, full, deep breaths where we inhale, our lungs fully expand both sideways and front and back. Our diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle below our lungs